Greetings and welcome. I am EasPoetloveWater, also known as Etaniel Ben Yehuda. And today I'm in Baltimore, Maryland at the Wisdom Book Center and Cafe, whose owner is Brother Tahuti. And today I'm very excited because this is video number 5 and I have a special guest who will further elaborate and where we could talk, interview and dialogue on the topic of sharing yourself / your culture, connecting with the African diaspora. I wanted to speak on this topic because it's been very dear to me throughout my socio-political life. If I had to be classified socio-politically, I would be considered a Pan-Africanist. And I feel it is very, very, very important with all of the members of the African diaspora to connect and learn about the different nuances and just the different ways and look at and explore the similarities and the differences in how we function, live, move, etc., etc. Today our guest is Kevin A. Sabio. He is an author and activist, and his work is entitled Raise Your Black Brown Fist, Angry Shouts of an Afro-Latino. And we have part 2 of the same book. So today I invited him to come in to this video because I really wanted to hear about his experience. Sometimes we hear about the Afro-Caribbean experience, the Afro-European experience, even sometimes the Afro-Asian experience. But as you know, things like immigration reform and things of that nature, and as the Latino voice has been rising, not just in the Americas, but globally, I thought it would be fitting to invite Brother Kevin to this series so we can sit and talk about this. So, welcome, Brother Kevin.
Thank you, brother. Thank you
you
very much. Thank you so much for having me here.
Yeah. No, thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. I really appreciate it.
No doubt.
First, I want to give a little background information. Actually, this brother here is responsible for introducing me to this establishment, the Wisdom Book Center. Quickly, I remember I came in one day when you were having the book release for Raise Your Black Brown Fist,
right.
And I just really liked the book center and what it stood for. And you know, I'm always about supporting the business and supporting the community.
Right.
So if you wouldn't mind, please share more of your experience, just the dynamics of culture and society within the Afro and Latino community.
Well, starting off, I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York, born and raised out there. I'm actually the youngest of 3 children of Honduran Garifuna parents. So my parents are actually from the country of Honduras. Okay. So obviously they immigrated to the States and they had 3 children. A lot of my experiences growing up were slightly different because even though I did grow up around other Latino kids, I didn't really grow up around other Afro-Latino kids. So a lot of times as a child growing up, I would see a lot of my other friends lighter skinned, you say more, I guess what they would call mestizo, or even looking more European. It wasn't until I'd say high school when I started dealing with other Afro-Latinos. The only difference between them and me is that I did identify a little bit more with my more African-American classmates than my other Afro-Latino classmates did. And high school was just a really great experience for me. Well, not a great experience, but it was an experience for me that's actually when I started to get into my own political ideology. Because like yourself, I also started embracing Pan-Africanism. Mm-hmm. Well, Pan-Africanism, Black nationalism, Afrocentrism, which one thing that I do explain in my book, I think they're pretty much the same ideology except little different nuances. Sure. Even with my college experiences, okay, I'm jumping around a bit. With my college experiences, that's when I got a little bit more, got my feet wet as an activist. So there were a lot of causes that I got involved in. As far as helping to form, you say, what was called the Black Student Union, which was actually an acronym acronym, sorry, BLACK. Of course, that was many moons ago, so I don't really remember what the acronym stood for. But being one of the founding members, we tried to do a lot to represent for students of color, specifically black students, on the campus. So that was pretty much the starting point for me.
Okay. So what are the benefits of remaining true and loyal to your culture?
Basically, it's just it gives you a sense of foundation, a sense of being who you are. Because one thing that I was taught growing up was that my nationality wasn't my race. My parents taught me that you say you are Garifuna. You say even though we come from the country of Honduras, you say that's not who you are as far as racially is concerned. And sometimes that does come into conflict with sometimes dealing with other Latinos in my activism, and even sometimes with other African Americans.
That's a very interesting point that you make, because I noticed that,
Right.
you know, even having a connection to the Caribbean myself and just knowing other people, people do get into nationalism more so than
Right.
kind of, I guess, like culture,
Right.
heritage, ethnicity.
Right.
So that's a really good point. So what's like what's a major goal for you as it relates to the African diaspora? Like, how do you, you know, not to ask you, you know, so many questions, but
Right.
it's, you know, really with the goal and, you know, and just really seeing the benefit of it.
Basically, for me, is trying to include the Afro-Latino community more into the African diaspora.
Okay.
Because basically, there's a lot of help that we need in our own communities, not just here in the United States, but also just in Latin America that we could use. You say resources, education, so on and so forth. So the more that we can connect with our brothers and sisters, I think the better off that we can be.
Okay. That definitely would be a great like premise for video number 2 of this series, which is entitled Community and Interdependence. And so with you saying that, it makes so much sense. It
Right.
makes everything stronger and it makes everything better for everyone else, that everyone incorporates themselves because we are all one, you know,
Right.
essentially, not to sound cliche-ish, but
Right.
that's how it is. And speaking of being all one and just thinking about connection and responsibility, what is the single piece of wisdom that you would impart to the youth?
Basically, we're all the same and we need to work together more.
Okay. Again, you know, with people sometimes they do like to go with cliches.
Right.
And it's, oh, that sounds good, so
Right.
it'll just work itself out, you
Right.
know, magically.
Right.
And, you know, history and the present time would show us that is not the case.
Right.
So with that piece of wisdom, it sounds like you're saying that, again, no matter what,
Right.
you know you are, for example, as you said, Garifuna,
Right.
at least starting from the Garifuna perspective, we're all Garifuna. So let's work together and make us the best, you know, Garifunas as possible.
Well, we're all Garifuna, we're all African.
I'm sorry, you pronounce it Garifuna.
Right.
Okay. You know I'm not. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So, I mean, we're all Africans. We were just dropped, specifically in the Western Hemisphere, we were just dropped in different places. Okay. That's why some of us speak Dutch, some of us speak Spanish, some of us speak Garifuna,
Okay.
some of us speak English, some of us speaks French.
Okay. Okay.
Those aren't our languages. That's what they forced on us. We need to get back to who we are and being family again.
Okay. So before we end, you know, with you sharing your childhood and adult experiences, and, you know, we all have our own unique experiences. Do you feel undervalued?
Yes and no. It really depends on who I'm working with, because sometimes if I'm working with certain older activists, they might think that, okay, I need a little bit more experience, I need a little bit more time, I need to wait my turn. If I'm working with younger activists who are a little bit more open-minded, then yes, they actually value my input, and also they're willing to collaborate a little bit more. You see, whatever I know or whatever they know, we can just put it together and just take it from there. So it really depends on who I'm working with, and even sometimes, even if I'm dealing with, you saying which community that I'm dealing with, you say, will depend on how much I feel my opinion is valued as far as the activism is concerned.
On that note, I want to thank you so much for coming in, taking the time to sit here, discuss, chat, build, and share your life experiences as an Afro-Latino in America. And I also want to thank the audience for taking the time to log in, click, upload, download, etc., because it's very important. It's very important to me as a writer and artist. As the title suggests, sharing yourself / your culture, connecting with the African diaspora. I want to give a special thanks not only to Brother Kevin Sabio for coming in, but also Brother Tahuti of Wisdom Book Center and Cafe here in Baltimore, Maryland. Also want to thank everyone that took the time to give into the project, help with the development of that. Please stay tuned for video number 6, which is a 3-part series, video 6, 7, and 8. We will talk about music and the power of music. So I want to thank you, endless gratitude, and share peace, prosperity, love, light, all of that with the audience. And if you could take this with you, we must work together, and we must treat ourselves or treat our neighbors as we like to treat ourselves. Peace.